Hi everyone, it's Lindenherz. I want to do a video response to Johoanna Robson, who did a video about her 3 most comfortable or most most comforting decks. And I thought, okay, I will do it too. But the thing is, try to pinpoint it down to 3 decks. This is so hard. And I have various decks here in front of me, and I will try to decide last minute which one is, which 3 I will pick. So I guess we will just start. And I would say I start with the deck that I use the most during the last, I don't know, last months. This is the deck I always come back to, especially when I feel down, and this is really a comforting deck, and comforting cards, but in a way that is not all fluffy or so. So the deck I'm talking about is, and this deck is not so familiar for some of you, but the other side more. It's the Guy and Tarot by Joanna Paul Colbert. This is the French edition. I also have the Schiffer edition, but I was quite disappointed with the Schiffer edition in terms of size. I don't like the size. Some of the images are too saturated for my taste. Still, I love it. I love to do daily draws, and because the cards are so big, they do nice, or they fit nicely in sacred spaces and so. But that's the problem. They are too big to shuffle, and I still want to trim it. Still don't know if I will do it, but the double borders really put me off. So I found out that there is a French edition, and I bought the French edition. And now I use the French edition and use the Schiffer guidebook for reading or for working with this deck, especially because of the great journal prompts that are in for the majors in this deck. And I really like it. It is modern, it is alternative. I heard some were not so some think that this deck is too Caucasian. To be honest, I never knew this word before and what it was referring to until I knew, okay, this too white, too European white, but I don't think so. Because you look, we have the Hierophant. Oh, the image quality is here bad because of the lighting. The Hierophant is Asian. Here, Temperance. We have more normal people here, also more normal body sizes. And I don't think at all that this is too Caucasian. Of course, there aren't that many varieties of races or so, but still there are variety. So there is variety. So, and I really adore it, and love to work with it. Love to lay cards, to lay spreads with it, and love what it has to say. And this is really funny because I wasn't expecting that at first. Because at first I wasn't sure if I would like the art style, and then I fell in love with it totally. I just can say I totally fell in love with it, and I love to read with it, and I also love to work on certain courses that the deck creator is doing online. This is also gorgeous sun card. Another gorgeous card. And this one here, the strength card. And one of my favorite, this one was also quite powerful during October, I worked also on a course from or by Johoanna Paul Colbert, and it was called 30 Days of Hecate. And this was also quite a important one with fascinating journal questions and in-depth readings and so. And it was powerful. And there is one card in particular that is stalking me quite often. I try to find it, and as ever, this is also stunning here. As ever, those cards are mostly in the background of a deck. But we have variety. As you see here, there is variety. So this one. The 5 of Fire. The 5 of Fire? No, the 4 of Fire. The 4 of Fire. And look at her, this powerful woman stepping into her power. And she was really haunting me during the first weeks, first months. I love it. I love it. This is a stunning deck. It really gives you some good hugs, but still a lot to you get a lot from this deck. It nurtures you. It gives you things to muse about, and opens you up. And I was surprised. And this is now one of my most used and most favorite decks during the last weeks. Maybe this will change, but at the moment, this is my go-to deck, I have to confess. So another deck that I will include is where's the cover? This one. The Wisdom Keeper's Oracle, the black and white edition, so the first edition. There is a full color edition now out, and I think I will get it too. Although I saw on a video by The Truth and Story by Kelly that these cards, the full color cards, are even bigger, and this one is already big, but they are so vibrant and so they jump at you, and they're borderless, which is also quite gorgeous. Nonetheless, I'm still happy that I got the black and white edition, because these cards, I used to scan them and then print little ones out to put in my journal. And I work with this deck differently than with other decks, because I find, especially with this juicy guidebook, I find it interesting to consciously draw cards from this deck. This helped me a lot with ancestor work, really picking, so to speak, my ancestors of this deck, so those who really spoke to me the most. And also when working with this deck, which is really perfect for path working, so getting into the card, getting to know your counterpart here, which is so beautifully smiling, looking at you with these eyes and so on. This is something which I really adore, because these eye contacts are so intense sometimes. They tell you stories and stories and stories. And I love to journal with those cards. And like I said, put some of the scanned tinier images, printed out images in my journal, and then start dialogues with them. So basically, I work with them a bit like automatic writing, and they're amazing things coming to the surface, which I can't say it's just powerful. It's a powerful deck, still nurturing. It still asks you the important questions, but and even when it tries to, or when these wisdom keepers try to point you in a direction that you're not comfortable with, they do it in a loving way, in a tender way. And those eyes, what can you say more? Those eyes are everything, and I adore these characters, just simply these people, these beings, these soulful, yeah, wondrous, yeah, people. I'm really lacking of words. This is really, it is a versatile deck, and it brings out the, it shows you the beauty of the variety of humanity, basically, I think. There's so many gorgeous faces, and all you can say is we are so diverse, we are so unique, and yet we're of the same, yes, of the same source. And humanity is beautiful, basically. This is what I'm thinking when I look at this, stunning deck. And like I said, it has a special place in my heart for special workings. I don't usually do daily draws with it. Like I said, not this kind of you shuffle the cards and then you see what card came up. I do it really consciously, and mostly then I use the guidebook, and sometimes use the guidebook, sometimes just look through the cards. But when I look through the guidebook, I really look like the story, how the story is jumping at me. Is this triggering something at me? Basically, this kind of stuff. But a powerful deck, nonetheless, a powerful, gorgeous deck. So, Wisdom Keeper's Oracle by Rosie Aronson. So now it will get difficult which deck to choose. And I guess I will end up with 4 decks. The next 2 decks, and I have much more here. So actually all I can do is just show just very quickly which decks I used at the beginning of the year quite often. So this one here, of course, Sacred Rebels by Alana Fairchild, and the Messenger Oracle by Raven Phelan. Also quite comfy decks. At the moment, I don't use them that much. This one I used lastly in summer quite excessively, and it was really powerful and nurturing and clearing. This one I used a lot at the beginning of the year. Sometimes in between, it always brings up clear messages, and a lot of the time very loving messages. So also, but I guess I will end up with 2 decks. So I'm cheating here, sorry. With 2 decks, I start to learn more about. One of the decks I start to working more and more, and where I think that this deck will become a very healing and nurturing and supportive deck is, of course, the Gaian, not the Gaian, the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. So basically another Gaia Tarot. So this is the second edition. I got this as a replacement because my first edition was it didn't look good on the edges and so on. I still consider trimming it. I'm not quite sure if I trim it completely or so, but I see what I will do with it. So I only started to work with this deck actually. But from what I've seen so far, it is very powerful. So very bad lighting here. There's not much contrast here. From what I've seen so far, this is a powerful, nurturing, in-depth deck. You can come time and time again when you have laid a spread, and see what layers come up. So you can sit with this, and I love that there are these dragons for the aces. And they're so bright, and the guidebook is gorgeous. I love to delve into this. But still, I feel I have to get to know it a bit closer, a bit more. But yeah, I like it, and I'm close to loving it dearly. So um, the images are just, what can I say? She's an amazing artist, Raven Phelan, and the colors and the symbolism, simply stunning. And I really look forward to, look at this, look forward to delve into more and get to know the landscape of this deck more and more over the time. Wonderful. So a very, very brand new deck I got recently, but which had really, where I had really gorgeous and supportive, yet still was supportive and nurturing, comforting, but also quite open with its opinion, so to speak, its opinion. So and this is the box here, the Mythical Goddess Tarot. There will be an I don't know if the walkthrough and the unboxing is already up, or will this video will be up first. But I have an unboxing and walkthrough of this deck, and it's just gorgeous. It's by Sage Holloway. Sage Holloway is the author, and Catherine Skaggs is the artist, and I really love her work. It is more based on the Thoth system. It is all female, so this might be something that you are not necessarily like because of because of the lack of balance. With the chords, it was at first, when I first saw or heard about this deck, I wasn't sure because of the chords, because the chords are all women, so all the goddess, so the different stages of the goddess, from child to maiden to mother to crone, for page, for knight, queen, and king. But still, it's working on its own. I like that there are these keywords on the bottom. This still, okay, this says fear, but still this looks a bit funny. But I like the art. It's yeah. So I'm more up for unconventional decks this year, or this second half of the year, and I already adore it, and already got some really sustaining and nurturing and comforting messages out of it, and we'll see how it will work further. Yeah, so I guess these are my decks. Another one is here lurking at me, or saying, hey, well, don't you want to say something about us? Because, yeah, this came up earlier by a tarot by Anya, also had it. And this is, of course, one of the first comforting decks I had because of this card. And I told this many times on this channel, why it is the comforting one and the powerful one for me with grief, especially because of this card. So I guess I cheated a bit with all these decks here, but in the end, I could really say at the moment I'm still working intensely with this. Started working with this one, and of course with Raven Phelan's, and the Wisdom Keepers pop in every now and then, especially when I want to do journal work and want to consult some more outer forces, so to speak, the forces, the wisdom in these cards. So yeah, I'm curious to see more video responses. I already saw some, and it's quite interesting to see which decks pop up, and it's always hard, especially for me. It's hard when you have to get down to 3 decks. So I never can pin it down to 3 decks. Never, ever, ever. But nonetheless, I made it. So I hope you will have a wonderful Yuletide still. We are halfway through and almost halfway through. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Maybe we'll see walkthrough, or we already have seen us. However, I wish you a wonderful day and peaceful night. Bye!